Yep. Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to our Monday learning night. You all love Monday? No?
Yeah.
No Monday blues for us, right?
No.
Okay, very good. Any of you actually force yourself to come here tonight? So you all come here willingly. Very good. That's very good mindset. And that's our topic tonight, right? Okay. So tonight we are very honored to have a very awesome speaker. He is a senior director of one of the largest real estate companies in Singapore. And he has also been consistently the top producer in the company. Okay. Not only did he excel in the real estate industry, he also did very well in our global platform. And I can see quite a few of his leaders here. Among all, of course, we have one of our top staff is San San, right? So indeed, Robin is a very good leader. All right, he has actually brought up quite a number of very good leaders also himself. Okay, so are you all ready to learn from him?
Yes.
Okay, before that, can I have your cooperation by switching your mobile to silence? And no video recording, please. You can take photo if you want to. Can they take photos on the slide? All right, you can take photo. Okay, and if you have any questions along the way, please leave it to the end of the session so that you will not disrupt this presentation. Okay, so are you ready to learn from our guru?
Yes.
Okay, so without further ado, can you put our hands together to welcome our speaker for tonight, Robin Sue?
Thank you, Johnson, for the introduction. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you feeling?
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so Monday night, right? Some of you may feel a little bit lethargic. Some of you may not, know each other. Can I encourage everybody to come closer to me? I need your warmth. You're like so scattered all around. Can you all come closer? Fill up the first 2 rows. Today the diamond seat is free. Everybody can take the diamond seat. Okay? At the same time, let's do one very simple exercise before we start. It's a small family here. Probably there are some individuals you do not know. So can I encourage every one of us to stand up and go around and say hi to someone who you do not know, introduce your name, and also maybe very shortly how long you joined Gines, and welcome that person to come for today's training. Can or not?
Yes.
Okay, come, let's do that now. Come. Okay, very good. You can find that our Gines members are all very super friendly, right? Once they start talking, they cannot stop one. I got to stop them. If not, they won't stop. The whole night they'll be talking already. Okay, thank you very much. So how many of you get to know at least one new friend tonight? How about 2? Anybody know 3 new friends tonight? Okay, well done. Give yourself a round of applause. So, how many of you do not know me, seeing me for the very first time? Okay, so it's my turn. Can I do a short introduction about myself?
Yes.
Is it okay? Okay, so my name is Robin, as introduced by Johnson, and I'm 41 already. Married with 3 kids. This is my family, and I'm formerly from the Air Force. Singapore Republic Air Force, and I'm a technician, engineer repairing fighter jets. This is me, 2008. So I was posted in France for 3 years, and I managed to take this picture. It's for what? There's a reason behind this picture. Actually, I was awarded the best serviceman of the year of the squadron. That's why I get to take this picture. But you know, I've been wanting to get this title. You know, for what reason? You want to know what is the prize or the award given to the best serviceman of the year? You get a joyride. Because we can pay to fly in a commercial aircraft, right? But there isn't a chance for us to fly in a fighter jet unless you are a fighter pilot. So if you are the best serviceman of the year, you can actually get a joyride on the fighter jet. No? So I actually got best serviceman of the year, and that year itself, when I got it, they demolished this plan. So I didn't get to go for my joyride. You know what they replaced it with? Okay, so in the squadron, this place is in France. So in the squadron, the whole place belongs to Singapore Air Force. Then we have a big car park, and then the car park is very big to the building. So the nearest car park lot, the first one belong to the CO. That means the highest ranking officer. Then followed by the DYCO. Then the third one, they give it to the best serviceman of the year. That's all. That means you get to park your car, specialized lot, and then nearest to the car park. That's all. So after serving my country well for 13 years, I decided that's it. So I came out to the private sector, and that's where I joined the real estate. Until today, I'm still in real estate. Okay? So, to start tonight's dry topic, do you feel tonight's topic is dry? No, exciting. So, I want to share with you this triangle. We call the triangle of knowledge. Okay? Who never heard this before? Or everybody heard before? Okay. Imagine if all the knowledge in the world is 100%. All the knowledge in the world is 100%. How many percent do you think you know? Example, if all the knowledge in the world is 100%, how many percent do you think you know? Give me some answer. 0.1%. Very good. Any answer? Come on, tonight is interactive. So you give me your answer, we interact, then we learn more. I also need to learn from you, right? Okay, give me your answer. What do you think? If all the knowledge in the world is 100%, how many percent do you think you know out of all the knowledge there is in the world? 10%. Sorry? 1%. Any more answer? 7%. Okay, good. GST. Okay, going to increase to 9% already. 0.1%. Okay, very good. Who says 7%? Oh, 7%. Okay. Generally, if all the knowledge there is in the world is 100%, and the things that we know is probably 5%. If you know 5%, you are one of the world's smartest men already, or woman. Right? World's smartest man or woman already, 5%. Make sense or not? Okay? And this is things that you know and you know that you know. Now, how about things that you don't know, but you know that you don't know? What do I mean by that? For example, I know there is this thing called the heart bypass surgery, right? But do you think I know how to do it? I don't know how to perform, right? So you know there's this thing called a fighter jet, right? But do you know how to fly? You don't know, right? So things that you know, things that you know that you don't know one. How many percent? Out of all the knowledge there is in the world is 100%. 5% is the things that you know and you know that you know. Okay? Don't make it too complicated. For example, I know there's this thing called accounting. But what we know I don't know accounting, right? So how many percent? Come on. 20%. 99%. 30. 40. Any more answer? Sorry? 30%. Okay, very good. The answer is about 15%. Again, if you really know about 15% of the things that You don't know, but you know. At least you know that you don't know. Okay, you are already one of the world most smartest woman or world most smartest man already, right? Now we have a problem. Remember I say all the knowledge there is in the world 100%, right? But now only got 20%, what? So where's the rest of 80%?
We don't know that we
We don't know.
Oh, you're very smart, you're going to come my class already.
belong to the 5%.
So the balance of the 80% belongs to what? Say again, Ollie. Okay, very good. The rest of the 80% belongs to things that you don't know and you don't even know you don't know, right? So can someone tell me what is one of these things? Correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to share with you tonight, starting off with this knowledge, triangle knowledge, is there is a whole 80% out there are things that you don't know and you don't even know that you don't know. Things that are totally outside your reality. And this, sometimes people call it your blind spot. And this 80% is where real transformation begins. Imagine today, whatever you have achieved so far, you have achieved it using what? Your 20% knowledge, you know. Imagine how much more you can achieve if you can tap into this 80%. Make sense or not? Whatever you have accomplished today, all your achievement, you only managed to do all this only using 20% of all the knowledge that you have, no? Imagine what more you can accomplish if you can tap into this 80%. That's why I say, if you can tap into this 80% is where massive transformation begins. Okay? So in our business, Genes business, we have a lot of training, right? So do you agree with me that training is one of the areas that you can tap upon to increase this knowledge or not?
Yes.
Correct? So tonight, who already learned something new already? Already 80% already. You get a little bit into here already. Right? So besides that, I always tell my friends to set aside 10% of your income, your Genes income, into upgrading yourself in personal self-development. It's whereby you can tap into this 80% to really grow yourself out of where you are. Okay? So we have a lot of training in Genes, right? We have the Fast Start training by our Diamond Winston. Okay, we also have MMP by our Diamond Wan Chi. We also got iMore. We have many training in the company that will help you to learn things that totally is outside your 20% one. Okay, only when you are willing to come for training, then you can tap into this part, 80% part. Okay, you see, this is what I just mentioned. Imagine, that means whatever you have learned so far in your 20% knowledge, that you already achieved what you achieved today. Imagine how much more you can accomplish if you can tap into that 80%. Also, this is where I say breakthrough. You can achieve a breakthrough if you can tap into the knowledge. I'm talking about breakthrough. Breakthrough means quantum leap. I'm not talking about improvement. Okay? When you suddenly, it's like a eureka, no? It's like an enlightenment. Suddenly you find information that is useful to yourself, your performance can totally change just like that. Okay? So I also like this last statement. Okay, your income is always directly proportionate to your level of self-development. Okay, so imagine today you have been aiming to earn the income of a diamond director or your dream income. How much is your dream income? Shout out. Shout out your dream income in Genes.
100,000.
100,000 per week or per month.
10 years.
Okay, 100,000. Okay, imagine I want to earn 100,000 per month. That level, and I want to ask you how much are you? Okay, we have professionals in our crowd here, right? We have doctors, we have engineers, we have accountants. After your so many years of study, you're earning this much income, $8,000, $9,000, right? So if you want to earn 100,000, how much more must you improve your knowledge? A lot more. So if you stay stagnant, do you think you can achieve that 100,000 income?
No.
So the point I want to drive to you tonight over here is this. Do you have distributor that you need to beg them to come for training one?
Yes.
Because they tell you something, right? They say, "Aya, this one again, don't need lah. Aya, I know already, right?" But can you imagine? Do you think you know everything or not? So it's important to come and attend training, buy a book that is related to your genetics business and improve yourself. Okay? And this is what I call a paradigm shift. A simple change in your thinking will have a drastic change in your results. So 97% of the population, okay, 97%, can lead into the 3% once you change your paradigm. Okay, in every company, there will be the top producer. Engineers, they are also all the top producer, right? The top producer are our Ruby directors, our Emerald directors, our Diamond directors, usually about the top 3%. And then the rest of the 97% of the distributor, you can easily lead into the 3%er if you just tweak in your thinking. Okay? So anyone here wish to double or triple your genetics income this year? Wow, very good. Guess what? Why is it when I ask this question, I don't see 100% of everybody raising up your hand?
Because we
What is the reason?
want more.
Did I ask a very simple question?
Yes.
I asked, anyone here wish to double or triple your genetics income this year, right?
Yes.
Simple question, right? So I ask again, does anyone here wish to double or triple your genetics income this year?
Yes.
Again, I don't have everybody put out hand. So, is it easy to put out a hand?
Yes.
But do you think it's easy also not to put out a hand?
Yes.
Easier.
It's easier not to put up. Okay, I want to share with you another concept. Okay, every day and every week we are either repeating simple discipline or simple error in judgment. Now, what is simple discipline? If I say simple discipline with the context of our genetics business, what do you think is a simple discipline? Okay, do the right things. Example, something prospecting. For example, make a phone call. Okay, so you need to make a phone call to your friend. Right? Is it simple to do?
Yes.
Is it simple not to do as well?
Yes.
So in genetics, our business, is it complicated?
No.
Just like just now I asked, anyone here in the room want to double or triple your income, right? It's easy to put out your hand, right? But at the same time, a lot of people cannot put out their hand. Same thing, simple discipline means the simple things that will make you move one step closer to achieving your goal and your aspiration. Okay? And what is simple error in judgment? Simple decision that you error in judgment, what I mean is, for example, if today I go to Burger King and order a hamburger and I eat the hamburger, is it going to kill me today? Is it going to suddenly make me very fat?
No.
But if I repeat this simple error in judgment every day, compounded over 6 months later, you see me, I'll be in a different such. Correct? So this is simple error in judgment. Same thing, if today I were to hit the gym, if I were to come for the HIIT session and do the exercise, after the exercise, do I suddenly become slim? No, right? You need to do it over repeated time, right? So over repeated time, it is the simple things that seems not to make a big difference at the point you are doing it. At the point where you are making the phone call, that phone call, like, imagine if you were to talk to a top producer. There's top producer in the real estate world, there's top producer in the insurance world, and then suddenly, you manage to come close to one of the top producer and you ask the top producer, hey, what's your secret? Can you share with me? How you manage to accomplish this top producer? Such a high sales. Can you share with me your secret? And then he tell you, oh, I just make phone call every day. Then you like look at him. You want to share? Help me make phone call every day. But do you think that he's telling you the truth?
Yes.
It is just doing the simple thing because you felt that this simple thing is not going to make an impact. But the thing is, it is wrong. It is doing the simple thing consistently, compounded over time, that is going to give you the results that you have been looking for. So if today, how many of you are not happy with where you are today in your GNS business? Okay, then my question to you is, have you been doing that simple thing or not, consistently? Okay, the simple thing about calling a friend, meeting up with people, right? Prospecting, right? So it is not rocket science, but when you are doing it every day, it seems very boring for you. But it is that simple thing that you need to do. There's no secret formula. Just need to carry on doing what you have been doing. Okay, and that's the difference between the top directors in the company, GNS company, and those that are not. Basically, they are not doing special things outside. So why is a winning mindset important? Why is a winning mindset important?
To start.
Sorry?
That's a start. If your mindset is not correct, then you'll be doing the same thing.
Yes, fantastic. Any more answer? Why is a winning mindset important? You can shout your answer. Why is a winning mindset important? How many people want to know the how to? How do I become a Sapphire? How do I become a Ruby director? Everybody is asking how to. They call the upline, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that, right? Okay, I want to share with you today about this simple word called philosophy. Can you turn to your friends on your left and right and say philosophy? Philosophy is also like your mindset. For you to get the result, why am I talking about philosophy? Wow, Robin, you are talking very far away. We are now talking about result, how to become Sapphire, how to become Emerald Director, how to become Ruby Director, right? Suddenly you're talking about philosophy. But guess what? Your philosophy is the thing that is going to drive your action. Make sense?
Yes.
And your actions will give you the results. If you want to change the results, a lot of you think that, oh, I will change my action. But the thing is, will you change your action if you don't have the right philosophy? So remember, your philosophy, your thinking, your mindset is the one that will drive your action. And it is the change in action that will result in a change in your result. So a lot of you have been thinking, how do I get the results? You need to change your philosophy. What is your thinking pattern? What is your mindset? So now I want to share with you 3 key ingredients. Okay, 3 key essential elements of a winning mindset. Number 1, okay, can we read this all together? If not, you all fall asleep already. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Number 1, growth, greed, giving. Easy or not? Okay, so I share the first one first. Growth. People with a growth mindset tend to outperform those with a fixed mindset. That is, if you think your abilities are fixed, you won't do as well as people who believe that with enough effort, they can expand their capabilities. What do I mean by this? Have you ever come across friends or people who tell you, "Aiya, IT I cannot one." Have or not?
Yes.
Or come across people who tell you, must learn to present on the stage. I cannot. Have or not?
Yeah.
So basically, this person, when he's talking this way, you know that he has a fixed mindset. He has a fixed mindset. When you share with him a new method or a new way, then he will tell you, oh, this method or this way, I cannot. It's outside what I'm familiar with. I'm not used to doing this, or I'm not a salesperson. So these are people with a fixed mindset. So example, you see, have you come across people who will tell you, when you share with them about the GNS business, they say, no, I'm not a salesperson. Have you come across people who say that, oh, computer, I cannot, or I'm not good at talking? So one fundamental shift in your mindset, can you imagine if you were to just tell yourself, this is what I mean by the paradigm shift. The moment is just a shift in your thinking. If you were to tell yourself and adopt a growth mindset, that you can learn. With enough effort, I can expand my capability. I understand that now my capability is like that, limited, right? Because I do not know computer, but with enough effort, the thinking must be right first, right? If my thinking is, I cannot, computer, I'm a computer idiot. Immediately, I already tell my mind that I cannot. Guess what? You are right. Definitely you cannot. Because you already tell yourself you cannot. And that's a fixed mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you will tell yourself that with enough effort, I can expand my capability. So I will tell myself, okay, I'll try and learn. I'll try to do that. You see? This is what I mean. So these are the two mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Is it too small? Can you all read? Cannot. So the screen, okay, I expand a bit for you all to see. Okay, let's look at the top first. And we go through it one by one. The first one, let's talk about the fixed mindset first. Okay, fixed mindset, the intelligence is static. Okay, it leads to a desire to look smart. Have or not? Because we don't want to look stupid, right? So, desire to look smart, and therefore a tendency to, when it comes to challenges, we have a tendency to avoid the challenge because we want to look smart, right? And then when it comes to obstacle, we give up easily. Okay, screw up a bit. Okay, next, effort. We believe that effort is fruitless or futile. And for criticism, we ignore useful and negative feedback. When people tell us, hey Robin, your presentation sucks, then you cannot take it. Okay, success of others, they felt threatened. When they see another fellow distributor doing well, they feel threatened. So as a result, they may plateau early and achieve less than their full potential. All this confirms a what? View of the world. Okay, now let's take a look about the growth mindset. The growth mindset, we believe that intelligence can be developed. It leads to a desire to learn and therefore a tendency to embrace challenges when we meet with challenges. And also, when we meet with obstacles, we will persist in the face of setbacks. And how about effort? We see every effort as the path to mastery. Criticism, we learn from criticism. And success of others, we find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. So as a result, they reach ever higher level of achievements. All this gives them a greater sense of free will. Okay? So who... Okay, it's okay. No, it's okay, I'm controlling already. Okay, so this, anybody heard about this video or saw this video of this Professor Angela Duckworth on this TED Talk? Okay, so earlier on, I want to share with you the 3 elements of a winning mindset, right? The first one is growth. the importance of having a growth mindset. Now I want to share with you the second one, which is greed. Okay? And as for greed, who don't understand what is greed? Okay, so why not I play this TED video, it's a short video, and let this professor explain to you in her definition what is greed. Okay, thanks. Okay, so while our technical team is doing the video, do you all have any questions for me so far? No question, you all very serious.
Because you're very good but listening
Okay. Oh, your seriousness make me scared. Got growth, okay.
Ask you a question.
Yeah.
What made you present this particular topic?
Okay, you all hear the question? Interesting question, right? He asked me what makes me present this particular topic. Okay, actually I'm going to give Tusha the answer in the later part of my presentation.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to give that in the later part, but I can give you a sneak preview now. Sneak preview, okay? Because I find that a lot of our distributor, okay, you tend to want to arm yourself with a lot of technical know-hows, with a lot of knowledge. It could be product knowledge, it could be what else besides product knowledge? Comp plan. You know, you want to master your, it's ready, huh? You want to master every single bit about, you know, the GNS before you go out there and talk to people. But do you agree with me that if you don't have a strong mindset, actually all this is in a way fruitless? After learning, when you go out there and you meet your first obstacle, and then after that you give up, you throw in the towel. Have or not? Do you have distributors or friends that they get all excited when they first join you? When they first sign up, they were telling you their great plans, how they want to invade India, how they want to invade China, and then their big plans and everything, right? 2 weeks later, you don't see them already. They are invaded. Correct or not?
I wake up mornings like that sometimes.
So that's why I find that the mindset is very important. It is a training which is, in most company, it is the part that is lacking. But what we have this mindset training. A lot of this mindset training is covered in this program called MMP. Okay, who hasn't attended MMP? Okay, so a lot of the mindset training is covered in MMP, and it is a 2 full-day course. You cannot do in like 1 hour like that, 2 hours like that, right? And we also have this mindset training in IMO. Who never attend IMO? Again, it is a 2 full-day course. Okay, so mindset training is something that cannot be done like within a short period of time. I'm trying to squeeze everything into this little. Okay, so let's now take a look at this short video by Professor Angela Duckworth.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking, kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
Okay, so how many of you think that you have the grit to succeed in your genius business? So you hear from